Most people buy the wrong trigger and it actually makes them shoot worse. This is the cheapest TriggerTech. This is the best value everyone recommends. And this one costs twice as much and can literally fire if you breathe wrong. So, which one should you actually run on your rifle? Today we're breaking down every TriggerTech trigger, the primary, the special, and the diamond. Here's the problem. Most shooters think a lighter trigger equals more accuracy. That's not true. In fact, a trigger that's too light will cause you to slap your shots, lose control on barricades and your positions, or worse, send around before you're even ready. And that's where TriggerTech gets interesting because all three of these feel completely different, even though they use the same tech inside the trigger. Normal triggers drag metal on metal. That's where creep comes from. TriggerTech uses a roller system. No drag, no stacking. Just a clean, crisp break. That's why people describe it as a glass rod break. And yeah, it actually feels like that. Let's start with the one most people should be buying but don't. The primary is the most boring trigger here. And that's exactly why it's so good. 1.5 pounds to 4 pounds, dead simple adjustment, huge upgrade over your factory trigger. At 3 pounds, it feels like a perfect hunting trigger. At 2.5 pounds, this is where most people should live. And at 1.5 pounds, it starts getting spicy, but it's still controllable. If you're a hunter and you buy anything above this, you're probably wasting your money. But shoot this next trigger, the special, and suddenly it feels cheap. This one almost everyone ends up with, and for good reason. The special is where you start shooting better immediately. At 2 pounds, it's very crisp, predictable, and your confidence goes through the roof. At 1.5 pounds, this is the PRS sweet spot. At 1 pound, now you're in don't mess up territory. This is the difference. Primary, you're pulling through the shot, and the special, you're breaking the shot exactly when you want to. If you shoot PRS, steel, or long range, this is the trigger you should be buying. But then there's the diamond, and this is where people get themselves into trouble. This trigger is insane. You can set this under 0.5 pound, which sounds really cool until you realize what that actually means. At 1 pound, it's effortless. At 8 ounces, it feels like it fires before you even finish the thought of firing. And below that, you basically touch it and it goes off. This is not a flex upgrade. This is a liability if you don't know what you're doing. This trigger is for competition shooters, controlled environments, and people who train a lot. It is not for your hunting population, your general range use, or your first trigger upgrade. Most people who buy a diamond would shoot better with a special. Here's the simplest way to think about it. The primary, safe, reliable upgrade. The special is a performance boost, and the diamond is a precision weapon. If you hesitate under pressure, do not go too light. If you shoot competition, go a little lighter, and if you hunt, stay heavier and get the primary. Simple as that. A bad shooter with a diamond will still shoot worse than a good shooter with a primary. So now, I want to hear from you. What trigger are you running, and what weight are you pulling on that?